we do this, continue to show respect, appreciation, acknowledgement, acceptance, because we got a lot of rejection issues. We want to be accepted, we want to be acknowledged, we want to be approved. That's the AAA club that we belong to. And that when someone comes and out of another state of consciousness, which is Chicago, to this state of consciousness in Atlanta, you want to show your appreciation for him by letting him know that you appreciate his efforts of getting here, and that you're going to make sure you absorb all that he has to say. And when you get Q&A or questions and answers, you ask the question that speaks to what you want to get clarity on about something that he is expressing. So with your warm love, with the two hands coming together, I want you to welcome Dr. Delbert Blair to our classrooms, to our hearts. More than that, a little bit than that. Warm up a little bit.
Thank you so very much. I asked Brother Ronick to stay up here a second. You hear him on WRFD all the time. You hear me probably more than I've ever been on WRFD this week. I asked him to stay up here for a couple of reasons, because he has told me some things that I have forgotten. I forget very little, and that is that, and I think he's being modest, that I motivated him some years ago, and that a lot of the things that he is doing and a lot of the research that he is now into was because of some things that I stated, some questions that I raised about the status quo. And if this young man, other men and women like him, are doing the same thing, then I feel it's been worthwhile. You never know what seeds you lay. You never know when you think you're too controversial. You never know when you're telling the truth how many will carry that torch. It's wonderful to see it happening. I can do it while I'm alive. I'm very happy about that. So I want to say thank you again, and I thank you for that kind of respect. I had to do some furniture shuffling, as you can see, and that's mainly because even though many of you, well, let me just ask you this. How many of you are here for the first time that have never heard me run my mouth before? Never before. That is surprising. That's very surprising. Well, that says something. I'm either outgrowing some generations, or all of you are just crazy for coming out and take a chance. But I'm happy that you have done so, and I hope it will be rewarding enough for both of us tonight where we can both learn something. This is about my 9th official trip to Atlanta to speak. First was brought in by Uma Niniola. I was brought in again by some other sisters and brothers. I don't even know if they're here at this particular time. The Bob at the Florence Institute brought me in at another time. And this particular occasion is probably one of my more rewarding, because we're in such a time on our planet that the things that I've said in the past, which, let me ask something else. How many of you have heard me speak before, maybe here, if no other place? Now that's rewarding too. Okay, for my first time come-outers, you came out mainly because you heard it in WRFD. If that is the case, would you raise your hand, trying to find out where the information came? I don't know. How many of you came out then for other reasons? Or heard about it from other regions? That's interesting too. I would suggest again that Brother Kevin Jackson, who just came in the door in the back, and who is mainly responsible for me being here tonight, take that into consideration. What they just said, Brother Jackson, was that most of them did not come out just because of WRFD. So maybe you know why, and probably it's because of also going by black media and hearing from it there. If that's the reason, then raise your hand. Now we see where the effort came from. Okay. It was advertised as healthy, wealthy, and wise. We could stay here the next year talking about how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. All things considered, at the turbulent time in which we now live. Let me overview, first of all, by saying, on the healthy aspect, we're going to look at the number of new products that are now available to you, some of which are old products but new to some of you, and some of which are brand new. One of which are referred to as the monatomic gold line, monatomic gold. This bottle that I hold up here is a bottle full of controversy for what it can and cannot do, what it is supposed to do, and what it's not doing, and what it is doing. Everyone has heard about gold. Is anyone in here that's never heard of the term gold before? People kill for it. You don't know why, except that somebody said it's valuable. Ancestors of some of us who lived in Africa had malleable black gold, and of course in its malleable form it's worth very little value, and couldn't understand why certain people along the earth were crazy about it. Gold, of course, is hoarded, devalued, valued, and seems to run the minds of many people who like money. This gold is called the philosopher's gold. We hope this is the gold prophesied to be given to us at the turn of the millennium, when people on earth would need it the most. I hope this is the case. I don't manufacture it, I distribute it. So I hope this is the case. I've done research best as I can, as in all products that our group handles, in the center that I direct called the Meta Center. And this gold is one that will help you increase your psychic power, improve your brain power, green in color, and possibly get answers to questions that you've raised for a long time from the best source possible, the highest person in you. Let me see if since I don't see anybody modulating the amps back there, it must be too close to this, so we'll see if that's any better. There are a number of forms of these gold products that our Meta Center now distributes, one of which is in a spray form, sublingually, under the tongue. Doing so, it helps your mental acuity to concentrate better and to think thoughts that are not so maybe shaded with negative concepts. We all have negative aspects of our life. It's part of living, the good and the bad. This will not stop you from focusing on the bad, but it will make you want to raise consciousness and focus on the good and the higher. I don't have all of the gold products, and a few that I did get got sold because one was really necessary for a person who was in deep trouble and needed it. But we also have the liquid gold tincture. That's good for raising your overall vibrational rate. And I like to use the term tonight, and I hope most of you leave here using it, rather than vibration, called resonation. Resonance. Not resigning from something, but resonating up to something. That vibrations and dispensations and things along this line have one over total package that is called resonance value. Resonation. It raises the body's resonation. This is a very hard to get item. It's called a toolkit. It has 5 different forms of the monatomic gold, some of which work with what are called the chakra centers. Most of you I know are pros at what chakras are and what chakras do, and everybody from chi experts to key raisers to all kind of meridian balancers and Reiki. So when I say this, it's not foreign to you. But these various ones work for what is called simply, is it possible, let's see, I'm getting a big feedback on this one. Is the amp really that necessary? If it is, then I can't get it further away from it than I am. The value of these is to work with each of the chakra centers from the root all the way up to the Shushihara by opening through energy these various energy fields, and so they can balance themselves. And in balancing themselves, they help you to work on the physical plane. The idea is that everything physical once was monophysical. And usually physical is the bottom, let's say, of the ocean, and the other spiritual, mental elements and so are higher, floating on the surface. These things work from the bottom up and help to clear you up so that when you begin to use the gold, it will work for you without a lot of side effects. We carry a complete line of monatomic gold. The reason why I didn't bring all the products, other than the fact that I have to go through scanners at airports or whatever vehicles I'm using, is because we have sheets. Each one of the items we have is spelled out on the sheet. The sheets are free to you if you wish to pick them up. They'll be on the table over there. And it lists all of the monatomic gold products. But the chief one is this one. And I'll simply say this about the Ethereum gold, monatomic gold. It's been rumored that for those of you who believe in the Negas, for those of you who believe in reptilians and serpentines, this is how they keep their shapes or shapeshift. Now, if you're really as cool as some of you say you are, I need say no more. Not before it's over with tonight, we'll probably be saying a lot. Right? It also helps you to keep your DNA in order and helps you to raise your consciousness to a higher source. Put these back over here in the box. And move to, again, because I've been asked about a lot of the products, and I've been asked to explain them, why they're used, why they're not used, what they're good for. Over 28 years ago, I began to do studies in magnets and magnetism. I went through the standard introduction into magnets and into magnetism, and I also found that right where it got to be fun, that was the end of the discourse. We sell a book that is very interesting, I think. It's called Understanding Magnetism, and that book, which a lot of our distributors utilize, will bring you full-fledged into the magnetic universe, into magnetism and its usage. Magnets simply, this is oversimplification, but it's the truth, they speed up healing in biological forms, and they help take away pain. Now, we've been told that the myelin sheath and the area around the nerve endings that is sheathed or covered is where we feel and register pain once it gets to what is called the brain center, or nerve center, or brain function. The magnets do one thing well. They generate the passage of red corpuscles in alignment. When you have a magnetic field, your red corpuscles all face one direction and are ready to march. It is the red corpuscles that carry what is called oxygen. And oxygen is what you breathe in order to stay alive. Every cell in your body that is a normal, balanced DNA, RNA replicating cell needs oxygen. Nucleic acid, ribonucleic acid, these are the things that form what you are, the pattern of what you are, and keep you what you are. Every 7 years, every cell in your body replaces itself. If it does so in a balanced form, you stay more healthy, you look the same, and it goes on. But as we're faced with a number of things, as we will find out tonight, to say the least, that are constantly eating away at that replication, it takes wisdom, a lot of knowledge to stay healthy nowadays. The magnets, when used correctly, utilize better the oxygen in your body, help your cells to better uptake and replicate the things in your body, and overall the results are healing speeds up and pain goes away. How many have now presently low back pain? How many have upper back pain? You know, to do this, there might have been down in the gastric nerve at the back, up here, back of the neck pain. You ever heard that phrase, pain in the neck? I bet you said it about some people. Oh, you have pain in the neck. She's a pain in the neck. Well, it came because neck pain, especially up here, is one of the worst pains you could get. Whiplash. If you've ever been in an automobile or whatever accident and the neck bounces forward, back and snaps at the vertebra and sprains the ligaments, oh, it can be a pain in the neck. But why? Because the neck, the last of the vertebra going up to the medulla stem of the brain, is balanced very delicately. All the martial arts, again, you see people whacking on the back of the neck. You have to be very strong to break a person's neck if you know where to hit it. The point is, it's very delicate, and all the nerves that connect the brain with the spine all pass through that little bundle. Also, energy is raised up, and I know some of you are going to help me with this one. Once this is the base down here, they have it, it's called something, it's a little triangular pocket. What do you call it?
Kundalini?
The Kundalini. I knew somebody would help me with that. Everybody knows, see, you guys understand metaphysics probably better than I do in some aspects, because these are things that have been utilized for some time. But all those 32 vertebrae, and the cervical disc and everything else that goes with it again, energy is constantly passing up from the bottom down here, the triangular pocket, up to past the pneumogastric nerves, out of Pingala, pneumogastric, into the medulla stem, and on into what is called the throne. In using magnets, you can help to convey that energy from down here where it generates in the back, all the way up to the brain, and the thinking capacitors that the Creator has blessed us with. If you've had too much sex, especially men, women too, you get a pain in that lower back, in that triangular pocket. If you've been under a lot of strain and stress, at least for say 3 moons, what is a 3 moon? 3 full moons equals what? 3 months. You're getting money, 27 and a half days, 3 full moons. The stress now stays down there and becomes a physical thing, which may have been a mental thing and imbalance. Magnets can help to break that stressful thing. If you have pain in the arm, elbow, leg, knee, foot, ankle, joint, there are magnets of different description that can help you. I didn't bring my full complement of magnets. I do have a couple of magnetic waist supports or back supports, if you would, and I have what I have on my arm, a magnetic bracelet. But we carry 55 different kinds of magnetic products applicable to any kind of pain you can get, and we're working on one for the skull. Got some problems on that only, making sure that you're not going to get sued when you come out with it, because it will relieve Alzheimer's, it will help depression. A lot of people are taking themselves out nowadays because they're depressed, and there's lots of reasons for that too, which we will cover tonight. But we have a magnet for just about any kind of pain or magnetic problem that you may have. The bracelet that I have is the same one, and I do have a few of these about the back supports. So you want to know what products I did bring. No, I didn't bring all, but we do have the bracelets. This contains 4 1,000 Gauss magnets. 4 1,000 Gauss magnets. Something I heard somebody else say, 1,000 Gauss magnets. You can't buy this one, but this is also a magnetic bracelet. It's merely a watch with an expansion band, and it has 4 there. So right now that you can see, you have 8,000 Gauss with the magnetism standing here for you. Why did I say I need that? Because I'm constantly exposed to energy fields that are very detrimental or could be to my body, brain, spirit, and soul. Because if you've seen the movie, they now have what they call soul catchers, working on magnetic principles. Soul catchers, remember that. This energy that is produced by magnetism is one that is coming back to our Earth. And as it's being restored on our Earth, it is being brought back by our sun, maybe our daughter too. The sun is bringing it back because it's time for frequencies on this planet to change. And if they change, and as they change, and they are changing, you either change with them or die. There's no better way. It's simplistic. If death was like that, that would be great. But if death is lingering, tormentous, disconnecting you from your physical body over a length of time through all kind of degenerative diseases, it can be hell. Want to know what hell is? Anytime you are distressed and pain and suffering, you don't have to wait to die to go there. Many of you already know that. Magnets do two things. What are they? Help me. What are they? Heal and relieve pain. Heal and relieve pain. You got a break, a fracture. It takes 8 months to heal. With magnets, 4 months, minimum, 4 months. Okay? You are in pain, been suffering for a long time. With magnets, the pain begins to diminish as soon as you touch it. Now, one thing that people don't understand about magnets and magnetism, which I will tell you now, I'm talking slowly enough for you to hear everything I'm saying, hopefully you'll digest it. Once you feel the pain diminished in magnets, you discontinue that use. If the pain seems to grow, you use a lesser magnification. If you need a higher magnification because it doesn't seem to be having an effect, then you need more magnets there. But you will react to magnets if you're a human man, even if you're a man, because we're in these physical bodies now. Now, once you've gotten an alleviation or a lessening of the pain, discontinue the magnet's use to see how long that lessening continues. Now, hear me well. If you have a major fracture compound and you just had it 2 weeks ago and you put on a magnet and the pain begins to diminish, no, don't stop using the magnet. But I'm talking about for ailments like headaches and minor pains and stuff, once it goes, discontinue its usage. If you find that it comes back, continue usage till it begins to go again, because otherwise you become magnetic dependent. Now, it's very difficult, as I stated this time, for anyone to become magnetic dependent because of the many things that are out there now. But that's when you use a magnet. I suggest that no one wear a magnet 24 hours the same magnet. If you're wearing it during the daytime, take it off at night. If you're wearing it at night, take it off in the day. If you've got a compound fracture and you're wearing it, wear it as long as you can, because there's a big difference there. Your body is in the process of healing itself. And if you begin to feel irritable when wearing a magnet, it means that you need to take it off for that while. Okay? By the way, too, another question's been raised, and I'll answer it now. They say, well, what is the Gauss of a magnet? What do you mean when they say Gauss or Gauss of a magnet? It is the distance between, or the distance of effect between two magnetic poles. And that area where you can either feel repellation, where it's repelling, or drawing together, that is the Gauss. Each quarter inch of that is called a Gauss. That's where you simply tell the field strength of a magnet. Many of you have heard me talk about, over the last 9-10 years, some of you, of course, since many of you said that you hadn't heard me speak before, diodes. Just as our group, myself as director, Creator Willie, were able to do a lot of research on the gold, or doing research, on the magnets, or doing research on the gold. We also have been talking now for about the last 7, 8, 9 years about diodes. Now, for those of you who are into electronics, engineers and so, we're not talking about the dipolar diode that you use in electronics. It's got nothing to do with that. It does not work on the same principle in one sense. These are biological things using crystals and magnets and a catalytic agent, which I don't know because it's patented and nobody's been able to back engineer it down. What happens when you start to back engineer it, I can save you some time, some of you want to be stubborn and do it anyway. You interject your own thoughts into it, it's picked up and it won't work. That sounds like I'm crazy. I'm going to tell you, now before you get real cute and all like that, that's what's going to happen. But nevertheless, these particular diodes are diodes. These diodes that you can buy from us or send for it again, energize and re-energize themselves in sunlight. That is our big difference, because they are biological, have nothing to do with just electronic components. They're biological diodes. What do they do? The overview, and what I usually say to a less sophisticated audience, is that they protect you from radiation and oscillating energy. Since many of you are already on the path, or many speakers, I'm going to treat you just like that and say that they stabilize your own electromagnetic field, which runs usually out about 18 inches, some 12 inches from the human body. Your electromagnetic field is generated by your brain waves and your heartbeat. The blood circulation from it creates an energy field that works to protect your body. This is how people can sense people. This is why when a person gets too close to you, and we probably have time tonight for a lot of demonstrations, and you get too close, they feel that energy, too close. You're in my what? You're in my space. Maybe get out of my space. Maybe get in my space, or whatever it's going to be. Brother, get out of my space. You crowd a person. A person who has a very particular vibrating field, you feel uncomfortable when you're in that space. There's some people you want in your space. There's some things and people you don't want in your space. Well, what this simply does is to use that, strengthen that field that you already have, and then you can begin to adjust to incoming frequencies. Radiation has been referred to as oscillating energy. Radiation and oscillating energy are 90% the same. The only difference is if you have a poisonous substance, which now also can fall into the category of oscillating energy. What oscillating energy does is to approach your body in frequencies that it cannot adjust to. Radiation has long, short, hertz, all kind of different vibrational rates by which it approaches you. And your body cannot adjust to the various frequencies quickly enough, and so it interpenetrates you and begins to burn and cook you from the inside out, just like a microwave. They have what they call ELF projects. I'm jumping the gun here a little bit. Extra low frequency modulating projects. Got a huge one up in Wisconsin. They've got one up in Lacona, Alaska now, the HARP project. They've got ESTAC, the European search for the same kind of thing over in Norway. They got Brookhaven, where you got your relativistic heavy ion collider, RHIC. All of these projects are utilizing micro and micromagnetic waves and low frequency propagations. Now, all that means to you at this time is this: you're in trouble. You understand that, Anthony? Why are you in trouble? Because in metaphysics you are referred to as what? An electromagnetic, what else? Unit of consciousness. Now some of us may not be conscious of our consciousness, but we are still electromagnetic units of consciousness. And the electromagnetic fields always play havoc or are in harmony with you. When you leave your home tomorrow morning, well, tomorrow's not a good day, it's a Sunday. Some of you maybe work on that, but let's just say on a day when you're going to work. You either get up, turn on lights, turn on a toaster, turn on a blender, a juicerator, a tea maker, a coffee maker, turn on the overhead light, watch what's happening on cable, watch what's happening on the regular TV, maybe see if you got any email, fax off something. Everything you're doing is using the electricity or one of its byproducts. And each one of those things you just looked at or touched is radiating you. Because you ever notice when we used to have the old rabbit ears where you had the big cable and underground and overhead lines, you passed in front of those rabbit ears. I know most of you are too young for that, but those of you who can go back in mind with me, with the rabbit ears. Look at the back, somebody saying I can't think well, whatever. You see a little wave. Anybody remember that? You passed a little rabbit, a little wave. What do you think just happened? You just grounded out a high frequency electromagnetic wave. Grounded out through your body. What does grounded out mean? You just got electrocuted. You just got radiated. It's just that the frequency was one you could adjust to, so it passed through you, but it did some harm when it was passing through you. Now think of a person sitting at a computer 5 and 6 hours a day. 30 days to 31 days a month over a year's time. And they say, I'm a computer nerd. I'm a computer user. Computers are necessary now to do business if you're going to do big business in Western world consciousness. And every time you put in front of that CRT VHC screen, you're getting radiated. Not only that, but it vibrates your hypothalamus nerves, grounds off through there again, and helps you to form mental pictures that aren't too cool, and burns out and registers on the hypothalamus nerve. In addition to your central nervous system, it just goes on and on. Most of you here had never heard of a cell phone, did you? Some of you heard of a cell phone? Some of you in the back also heard of cell phones? Have you really? Just because in the back doesn't mean you don't have cell phones, huh? All right, why am I being so trite? Because I want you to think. I want you to make a decision tonight. How many of you think every time you use that cell phone it helps you to make money or helps you to contact someone that you want to talk to? Raise your hand. Maybe you didn't hear me. Let's try this again. How many of you think when you use that cell phone it helps you to make money or to contact someone that you want to talk to? That should be everybody raising his hand in here. Some of you use cell phones for other reasons. You get phone numbers. Well, that's to contact somebody else, isn't it? It's to get that monthly allotment out. Well, that's to contact somebody, isn't it? Cell phones are a convenience. And I know that most of you, or a lot of you, are very, very, very powerful people, because I saw a young lady, she had to be at least 15, 16, walking through one of the major superstores with that cell phone in her hand because she had something important to say and couldn't wait. And I knew she was very intelligent because she just walked by a produce section there, which had ultraviolet light. She walked by the dairy section, which had neon light. She walked underneath a couple of scanners, which I know the program on the other side didn't like that because he just got a blast. Those are the sightseers that watch you when you walk up down the aisle if you stay there too long. You know anything about that, do you? Overhead eye in the sky that's in the roof. Now you heard that, didn't you? Was that a response or was that a response? So your roof's also that way, huh? I figured. Okay. Well, you've had a lot of things when I met you. Never surprises me. We are in a sea of radiation, and that cell phone is probably as bad as any of the rest of them. It's excellent for communication, and I do not say throw away your cell phone. What I'm telling you is buy it out. Buy a dial. This little dot that you see on that blue seal in the background is a dial. That little thing there, it is a particular type of dial. It's called a cell phone dial. That cell phone dial protects you from your cell phone and lets you use that cell phone to do whatever it is that you wish to do without the deleterious, negative, bad effects from it. We started off with what they call analog cell phones and analog things. Now everything is becoming digital. It's getting smaller, micro miniature. So it takes a small one. But this is a black onyx stone, a crystal. And on the back of it is a diode material. Therefore, you have a crystal magnetic diode amplifier, which protects you now from the antenna and the battery in that cell phone. The reason why cell phones work, if you remember when they started before, you would lose signal. You get out of the cell area, and this is what nobody wanted. Heck, I just got a good conversation going, boom, I lost my partner. So now they have relay systems and switches in various places you've never even guessed, and some you've seen. Little square boxes like this fixed to a wall, so they have cages around. You have some in church steeples, grain silos on farms, in the ground, because that signal has to be amplified, and usually every 3 miles. Now that it's becoming widespread with more than one company, you have those who don't tell the frequency on theirs versus those who won't say the frequency on those, but you're getting them all, and you're walking and driving and flying and whatever through those signals, which are all interpenetrating. The antenna of the cell phone, you just heard the 2020 special, was on Fox TV, it's been all over the place. They've now pretty much calibrated, causes not only brain tumors, it can cause it after 8 to 13 months usage. Cancers, loss of eyesight, hair falling out, calcium deficiency, and on down the line. Feelings of being depleted, fatigue, works again on the adrenals, works on the thyroid, and by the way too, half the women in here, I hope, have not had thyroid problems. Many women are going to get them and they don't even tell you why. Cell phone is one of the reasons. Computers are another reasons. Now, just kind of digress a little bit here. We're talking about healthy. A woman has 3 lobes on the thyroid, they don't tell you that. You need more iodine? No, not necessarily. You need more balancing minerals. And as we're exposed to these things, and as we get older, we lose the calcium, and the magnesium, and the manganese, and the phosphorus. And when you use these kind of electronic things, they utilize all this converted and use those things as energy. They're living off of you as you use them. Never heard that one before, did you? Yes, it is. One little gadget like this can stop that and still let you use your cell phone. Now, somebody say, I don't have a cell phone, but I have a pager. Where do you usually keep your pager? Can't hear you. Where do you usually keep your pager? Waist. And what's near your waist? The most vital thing for a man, and wonderful thing for a woman. Your sex organ is at your waist or down below it. When that pager says, you just got radiated your sex organ. Yes, you did. And all around your waistline, your kidneys, and all the rest of that stuff. Yes, you did. Now maybe you heard it. You heard that one. That doesn't mean anything. Your sex does. You can put that on the page and say your sex organ. Then when you get time to put it on your head. Anybody didn't hear what I just said? I think you heard that one, didn't you? Even in the back, you heard it, didn't you? You heard it. I know you heard it. I can tell you smiling. You didn't smile when I said hello to you, but you smiled then. Yes, you did. Cell phone dial, $34.95. Put it on your page and put it on your cell phone. For the TV set, for the microwave, the X-ray machine, for the hair dryer, and I've seen ladies sit on their hair dryers for an hour and a half, frying their brains, causing the pond to realize not entrainment, it's train wreck. Then they wonder why the hair won't grow and their scalp is sealed and everything else. Deadly energy comes out of those hair dryers. And it heats up because it's electrons that are heated up in a conductor, in a tube, and that's what blows from inside. Then you blow up the hot air from radiation. Put it on this, put it on the back of your TV set, put it on your hard drive, put it on your computer, put it on your fax machine, put it on anything that duplicates and uses electronic emissions, and it slows those down to an area that you can use it. They call it River Dial, $29.95. Pink one, slim pocket dial. Put it in your pocket. I suggest 2. Why do I suggest 2? Because the energy comes in from your left and exits from your right. It does not block out these principles from entering into your body. It's not what it does. It stabilizes your own body's energy so that it slows it down to a vibration that it can adjust to, and it passes through you. Entering from the left, exiting from the right. With this, sets up that field 18 inches out, gets it, goes through, keeps on going. Other than that, it's into you and begins to cook you from the inside out. Why do microwaves work? Because microwave, you have a microwave oven, it cooks the biological material you have on it, but the plate is cool. You are not a plate. You are biological. It cooks you from the inside out. Soft tissue diseases, immunism, you begin to reach your own conclusions as to what to be called. $27.95. One on one side, one on the other, you double the price, you double the protection. That's all I can take. Something that looks like a quarter, or what they call a wall plank, something else. Quarter wall plank, right? Far from it. This particular little gadget has on the back is painted with diode material. When placed on the table, that's where we're going to place it. You put anything on there that is radioactive, so far that we've found, it takes the radioactivity out of it. Put something that's radioactive on this, it takes the radioactivity out. Now, a better form is to use the term oscillating energy. because poisons can also be oscillating energy. You go to the store, you buy some groceries, some canned goods, and they might have poisons in them and things that might be detrimental to your body. Bring that bag in, put it on top. You can't go out the circumference of it now. They might have to put a little at a time, sit on there for about an hour or more, transmutes